Hello witches, welcome back to the channel. My name is Luca, and today I am doing another base game only speed build in The Sims 4. Today I'm building a colonial styled home built in the beautiful world of Willow Creek, and I did want to just come in for just a second, and before I get too deeply into the voiceover for the build itself, I did want to clarify that yes, this home is inspired by a real-life home built in 1826, which predates the abolition of slavery. And it is okay to look at history not through a rose-colored lens. We need to view history the way it was, truly. That's the best way to learn and to, understand and grow. And so take this with a grain of salt. I am in no way glamorizing the time, the era that this was built in. I'm simply just appreciating some architecture that is still around, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, actually. It's fortunate that it still exists so that we can at least understand and view a time that was not good at all for a large group of Americans. Anyways, let's just get on to the actual build today. I'm just going to be perfectly transparent. I wanted to record that little intro bit. I've tried like 10 times and I could not get my words straight. I don't know what's wrong with me today, but yeah, so I am using just the base game to build this home, and I found this on the Captivating Houses website. This home is actually located in Germantown, Ohio, so go check out the link in the description because, while the house, when it was built was, we already talked about that. It is still very much so taken care of, and it's a very beautiful home. I mean, it's a simple red. It's kind of American colored, honestly, like red, white, blue, but it's nice. I actually quite like it because, it has this really nice, like muted red tone with a very light blue. The real life house is a little bit different, but when I saw this home, I actually think I saw it on Facebook, and then I saw more pictures on the website. I saw like the colors and the shape and everything. I was like, that looks like it would be very easy to build with just using the base game. You really know that you are a simmer whenever you look at real life houses, and you can like see like, how do I make that in The Sims? But you don't even have to think too much. You can just kind of be like, oh yeah, that's like 4 tiles wide, and like I can use that one base game door and that one thing from Seasons, and then the rug from Parenthood. I don't think there's a rug from Parenthood, but you know what I mean. You could just like look at things and just kind of like deduce it in your head. You've been building in The Sims for a very long time when you can do that. But yeah, I just kind of sat down the other night and just kind of zoned out into this build. I had so much fun because, I don't really build homes like this. I'm not really a big fan of building, this isn't really a large home, but like bigger traditional styled homes. I'm not really the biggest fan of it, to be perfectly honest. This home is, I think it's 2 bedroom and then like 1.5 bath. So it is not very big, really. It's not meant to be. It's like a medium-sized family home. I think this would be really good for just, I kind of saw like an older couple living here with maybe they have a teen daughter, teen son, just a teenager, whether it's their grandchild or their actual like child themselves, who knows? The landscaping was a lot of fun too. I did try to keep it pretty, symmetrical-ish, and I tried to kind of make it more, curated and put together and thought out. But at the same time, I wanted it to be a little bit lush too. Just not too crazy, but just enough so that it had some life to it, and it seemed kind of manicured at the same time. I don't know what it is, but honestly, building with just the base game for me anymore has gotten so much easier. Like, I don't know. I feel like limited packs for me has always been a great way to build because I get really overwhelmed with choice because, I have ADHD, I am a Libra rising, and I'm a Leo. So I kind of have a lot of issues making decisions. And so having fewer decisions to go through kind of helps with that a lot. And just having the base game, honestly, is really fun. And the cool thing is, too, if you do have a computer that can run The Sims 4, you can just download The Sims 4 for free and then download this home. And then there you go. So yeah, like it's kind of a win-win. I can see using some packs to add to this, primarily maybe something like the Wedding Stories pack, or I can see Laundry Day fitting here really well. I don't know. There's just, the base game has the style that I actually built in pretty down packed very well. Like, I think that what I had at my disposal, that's the word that I was looking for. But the stuff that I had at my disposal, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm just going to be 100% transparent again. I've been having so many issues, like, verbalizing what's going on in my head. Like, I get my words so, like, twisted around and messed up, and I'm just like, y'all, I just need to relax. I think I'm just overthinking and overanalyzing stuff. So my brain is like going a million miles a minute, but my like voice can't like verbalize it very well. It's mainly because I just need to slow down. That's really what it is. I just need to slow down, take a breath, take it easy. I think we all need to do that. I think we just need to just like woosah, just let it out, just be, comfortable in the moment and just, relax. I think now would actually be a really good time for a tarot read. What do you think? I think so. It's pretty funny. Let's while I shuffle my deck here, my cards. If you don't know, I do tarot readings once in a while. I haven't done one in a while in my videos, so hey, here you go. I got a really good reading last night. A very good reading, like ridiculously scary good reading. But it was something. Like, she was dragging me to filth. Like, I did a 4-card spread because that's what I've been doing lately, is doing like a plus sign with my cards and just kind of going with the flow with that. And let me tell y'all, my tarot deck read me to filth. It gave me 3 cards basically calling me out for all of my issues that I was definitely thinking about and definitely dealing with, like 100%. It was almost scary. And then the 4th card was like, listen, you gotta take it easy because all this stuff right here is just an opportunity to grow. It is not hindering you, it's challenging you, and you gotta look at it that way. And I was like, whoa. Alrighty, let's do this little tarot reading here. So take what resonates and leave out the rest. That's what I'm just going to say. So we got King of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Tower in reverse. Oh my. We have the Emperor in reverse. Hello. And then we also have the Hierophant in reverse. So we got 3 major arcana today, y'all. I don't know what let me just take a look at my booklet because I can see some stuff here, but she's okay. So this is a very interesting reading. This kind of is calling me out again, as always today. But so first card we got was King of Pentacles in reverse. And it is the little description here. I was like reading through it and I was like, and then the first thing that caught my eye was a need to balance the material with the spiritual. I can kind of interpret that in my own way. It's like, you're kind of obsessing over things that are in your head, essentially. I'm kind of reversing it a little bit. Like, you're obsessing over everything that's going on in your head right now, and you really need to kind of like hone in on, what you've got in front of you, essentially. Like, you need to just kind of, be a bit more self-aware of like where you are and what you're doing and focus on that, because getting inside of your head is really like holding you back. The next one is the Tower in reverse. This is major arcana. This one says, life becoming stale or refusing to change. That one is really something that stood out to me, was refusing to change, avoiding a disaster, and denial. Now, for me especially, avoiding a disaster is kind of just avoiding your issues instead of just taking care of them and not staying up in your head. Like in what the the King of Pentacles said, it was like, all this stuff that's going on in your head, that isn't real. Okay. Like that stuff, where you're obsessing over walking into a, insurance office, being real here for a second, walking into an insurance office is not scary. Okay. Why did you make up that it's scary? Just walk in and just talk and you're gonna be fine. So yeah, it's like denial and just kind of pushing things away and not really like taking care of it because you're scared. And you don't need to be scared because all of that is just up in your head. It's not actually real. The next one is the Emperor in reverse. And this one didn't really stand out too much, but then it did say a desire for control, being stubborn and defensive. And so that's something that really stood out because I get really like comfortable in like a state of just avoidance. And I get so comfortable that I'm just too stubborn to move. I'm too stubborn to do anything. I'm too stubborn to actually like take care of my issues. And it's saying, hey, yeah, you need to, go in this stuff with confidence and just take it easy and just like, you're striving to, strategically and analytically think about stuff, but not so much that it holds you back, because that's where you find issues. And lastly is the Hierophant, which is in reverse as well. This one is really stood out to me. It's like, hey, the first thing it said was outdated systems or ways of thinking. And that one really stood out because it's like, hey, you are so... like, again, it's just kind of playing on the other cards. It's like you are so used to being in this same like mindset about how you approach things that you need to do for yourself. You're so like, how do I describe this? You're so used to it that that's the past. It's outdated. It's something that you don't need to use anymore. It's not you anymore. And so you really need to just kind of take a step away from that way of thinking, and you need to just kind of go in with fresh eyes. You need to kind of just think about it in a way that isn't so like, you don't need to overanalyze it. There you go. That's how I would say. So yeah, something I've learned, and I'm sorry if this is totally not in relation to the build whatsoever, because who needs that? You can see what I'm building, right? But essentially, how I've been doing my readings for myself lately is that whenever I pull a card and it is in reverse, I look at it being like, okay, so it's telling me that the way that it's being pulled, like the shadow perspective of it, the shadow seer's perspective, is it's telling you what's going on. It's telling you your issues that you're dealing with. It's telling you what's happening. And the light seer perspective, how you want it to be in normal orientation, is what you're striving for. Or at least for the most part. And for me, this reading, they're all in reverse. And so they're trying to push me into the light seer way. And they're trying to say, hey, all these issues that you're dealing with of overthinking, overanalyzing, kind of getting inside of your own head, you really, really need to kind of turn that part of your brain off, essentially. You need to kind of take a step back. You need to reset, and then you need to, take a step forward in a way that isn't going to like overdo it, but it's not going to like hold you back. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't go into this, this insurance office because, where do I walk in? Who do I talk to? What do I say? Like, you're so like, I'm at least for me, I obsess over the details so much like that because A, anxiety, B, maybe it's autism, and then just a number of reasons. And so I need to just kind of take a step back, take a breath, and just not have that stuff go on in my head constantly, because otherwise I'm going to let that stuff get to me. And you don't want that. So yeah, that was a very good reading. I really enjoyed that reading, and I hope that you can resonate with that too, if you would like. If you would like to, you can, look up the cards, look up the descriptions, and you can kind of maybe interpret it yourself. That's actually a really good way of doing tarot, is just looking at the card and just kind of interpreting it yourself if that's how you want to do it. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out the Light Seers Tarot deck by Chris Ann. You can actually find it on Amazon, and it's a really nice tarot deck. It's got beautiful art, and yeah. Anyways, I just zoomed on through this build. I did the exterior. I did a really nice back porch, wraparound back porch, which again, wraparound porches are a little bit problematic too. So, I just want to say, take this with a grain of salt. Take this with a grain of salt because I don't know everything myself. But wraparound porches are pretty common in a lot of older homes here in America, particularly homes that predate slavery, because the wraparound porch, at least in a lot of the front porches. I don't know necessarily if it's the same with back porches, but wraparound porches are specifically so that the slaves of the household have another entrance. So they don't go through the front door. Oh no, they go through the side. They go through the back. They go through another way. They go around the porch, wrap around. Yeah, you catch what I'm saying. I may be wrong on that, so please correct me in the comments if so. But yeah, that's just want to clarify. Wraparound porches are not particularly something you should glamorize because the concept is just a little bit, yeah, the history of it's a little bit not great. It's a lot of it not great. I'm really not trying to like diminish it or anything. It's very bad. But it's The Sims, so it's okay to just appreciate that. At least it's The Sims. Anyways, moving on. So I really did like the layout of this home. It's pretty simple, not too crazy, not too many rooms. It was very much so approachable. I did start with the bedrooms. I've been doing that lately in my builds where I start with the bedrooms and I'm able to kind of get an idea of who lives here a little bit better because of how the bedrooms are. Plus it's kind of a nice change because I usually start with like the kitchen or something, and now I'm starting with the actual bedrooms. I will say one thing about the layout up here is that the bedroom entrance here, like the main parents' bedroom entrance, the door itself is kind of a little bit awkwardly placed. I wanted to use these doors here specifically throughout the whole house, but this one just had one tile and it was like, this just barely fits here. But it works. I think it does okay. Thankfully, these, doors still function, but it's just a little bit of a tight squeeze. I really do like the style that I built this home in though, like interior wise. I really like the, it's very traditional in here, but I love this master bedroom. It's really, really pretty. I love the simple shades of brown with like touches of greens and blues and gray. And it's just, I don't know. It's nice. It's very calming. It's very traditional. It looks very historic in here. I will say this is a complete departure because the next bedroom that I do is for a teenager, and you'll see that in a bit, or maybe you're seeing it now. I don't really know how I time my voiceovers. They're kind of a little bit all over the place sometimes. But we go from the super traditional, super classic looking bedroom here to a very goth and emo looking one. I don't know. It's always fun doing that for me. Maybe just maybe I am channeling a bit of my own childhood here. I wanted to place a mirror above the bed in the bedroom here, but I was having a hard time finding the right one. And so I used the tool mod here, and it did take a lot of finesse and a lot of, just kind of messing with it to figure out where and how to do it. But I used the tool mod to rotate this mirror on a axis so that it would rotate to be horizontal. And it took me a while, but I figured it out. It looks pretty good. But here I am moving on to, am I moving on to the upstairs hallway or the bedroom? The second bedroom here. Yeah. I did initially plan on making it just simple and traditional and not really like a specific style, but I was like, nah, I don't really like that. That's not my vibe. I want to do something that's very goth and very like, just, very youthful as in very young and very, different than the rest of the house. Cause I could see, maybe some people own this, maybe some rich people own this, and so they live here and they have a very rebellious like teenager, and they're just like, this teenager is very privileged, but they still hate it. They still hate living in this big house and, living in the nicer part of town. They just don't feel like they fit in. They feel like there's just something off about this area. I do quite like how this bedroom looks in the beginning, but I just was like, I don't know if I like this because it just doesn't fit the vibes, it doesn't fit the storyline that I have in my head. I was like, oh, hey, let's make it pink. Let's make it pastel pink, but I hated that too. So I do change it, of course, to be like mostly black and like fuchsia pink, like the hot pink, those colors on the base game, or it's like a hot pink purplish kind of color. I am kind of channeling some of my inner like teenage, years phase, because back in the day as a teenager, I really wanted to be like that emo kid. I wanted everything to be black. I wanted all the skinny jeans. I wanted the swoopy hair. I wanted snake bite piercings. I wanted tattoos. I wanted all that stuff. I wanted gauges in my ears. And, looking back, I'm kind of glad I didn't do that because now as a person, I'm not sure if I want that. But it's still something inside of me that I can kind of, I still think about once in a while. I'm just like, wow, I really wanted to be that alternative kid in high school. And the most I got was a black hoodie and some, one pair of skinny jeans from Rue 21. Just to put it into context, I still live here, but I live in Eastern Kentucky, and where I lived at that time of, when I went to high school, it was very much so a rural community. It was very out in the middle of nowhere, basically. There wasn't much out there. So having access to that kind of stuff was not really in the cards for me. Like, actually, because, we were poor, but it was also because, we lived, at least like 30 minutes away from just the nearest McDonald's, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, the bedroom here, I really, really liked it a lot. I thought it was so fun at the end. I was like, this is so hot pink. It's so fuchsia. It's so great. I love it so much. And I really liked this little cactus that was added in a SDX drop, if I'm not mistaken. I really like the swatch though. It has like almost like a galaxy kind of starry look to it. I put some nail polish and like perfume bottles and some. These are not tarot cards. I know those are not tarot cards. They are specifically from like Chinese culture. That's not what I'm trying to say, but let's just pretend that that's a deck of tarot cards because we don't have anything else in the game that resembles it. And I just kept the upstairs kind of landing pretty simple and straightforward. I didn't want to fill it full of stuff because, this is a hallway pretty much. So there's not really a lot going on up here to keep it pretty simple. I do a lot of like repositioning of things because, I've started to kind of pick up on like how placing things can affect gameplay and, where, like curtains would be and like, like window placement, just like little tiny things here and there I will do. Like I do eventually, because the bathroom was going to be the smaller room, but I make it the bigger room instead. So I kind of have to swap some things around so that makes it a little bit easier to kind of, navigate. Because I was like, okay, this bathroom cannot be this small. Not for a house this big. It needs to be at least one tile larger. And can I say I am still so happy that they added slots onto the different bathroom items in this game. Oh my gosh. After all this time, I'm so glad that they did that. Because, we were already doing this with the OMSP shelf. We were already doing this with Move Objects. But now that we actually have slots on these items, we don't have to really do that as much anymore. And boy, does that really change the game for me. Just the tiny little details can do something. At the time that I am recording this, we did just receive that update a couple days ago. And I will say, though, it did kind of break some stuff, though. Like, the Sims are a little bit broken, maybe, to some people. I noticed that not all of my Sims are, but some Sims have, like, weird, like, their eyes look off, like, they look like they're positioned weirdly, and, like, the mouths are messed up. That's the really unfortunate part of these updates, is sometimes things break. And, it happens. I get it. People make mistakes. People, maybe not check everything. That's fine. But you would expect more from a multi-billion dollar company. Who knows? But I love the bathroom. The bathroom is so nice. It's very traditional, but I loved it so much. And so I made this little room here. I was just gonna make it like into a storage room, but I was like, what? I'll just make it into a tiny little office. I just think that would be a very private little space. You could turn that into maybe like a little nursery, or maybe just a little like storage room, or you could put an easel in here. I don't know, a Zen room even. If you have the spa day game pack, you can make this into like a little yoga room even. That would be kind of cool. It's these little rooms that are just kind of like random spaces that are always kind of fun because you can just make them into whatever you want. You can even make it into a tiny little guest bedroom if you wanted to. You could theoretically keep a single bed and a little, dresser in here or something. That would be kind of cute. But yeah, I added some more things here up in the upstairs landing before before I move on to the downstairs. And the downstairs was not intimidating. I was actually kind of intimidated, but then when I got into the downstairs, I was like, oh, I can actually do this. There's not too much to deal with. So I do have this kind of open kitchen space here. Well, not open, but like a nice kitchen space with a nice island and, you know, some pretty good appliances. Just, I kept it very simple because I wanted it to be pretty functional. I just added like a couple bits and bobs of decor here and there. Nothing too crazy. And, you know, your Sims can sit at the island and have some breakfast if they want. I, you know, gave them like a coffee pot, a microwave, just kind of general things that they need. And I do expand the kitchen one block outwards a little bit. You'll see in a second. I just wanted to make it a little bit bigger. It just, the proportions of the rooms and like the layout, just, it didn't feel right. You know, I can't really describe what it is, but it's possibly ergonomics, because I know ergonomics is a big deal. I think that's how you describe it. Big deal in home design. So just trying to figure out how the flow of things feels right. You want something to flow nicely, so you walk from one room to the next pretty easily without feeling like you're having to like go through like a maze or something. And it just didn't feel right with like the dining space and where the table was sitting. It just felt weird. There is a bathroom downstairs. I don't know why I'm mixing up bedroom with bathroom today, but there is a little bathroom downstairs. It's just a half bathroom, a little powder room. Really like it though. I love the new swatch or the new slots so much. Yeah, it's just simple. It's under the stairs kind of thing. You know, it's pretty cute. Yeah, I kept the colors pretty bright and light in this house. I wanted it to be mainly just some traditional like wood tones with white and maybe like light blue touches here and there, just to keep it really fresh and simple and just clean. Nothing too, you know, busy, but still very much so traditional. The kitchen was nice, and I do like the little dining space. It's pretty small for a dining space, but it does seat 6 Sims, or well, the way that I did it was I left 5 chairs at the table, but then I moved a chair to the side. So, you know, say you have like company coming over, you can add that extra chair and then you can move it back if you want. I don't know. I just felt like that would kind of help with, you know, how small the space it is. I know you can't hear the traffic, but I hope you couldn't hear the traffic because we've got some motorcycles going by once in a while because, you know, it's a very lovely, warm, sunny day here in Kentucky, and it's people are out and about doing their thing. So yeah, at least today is the last day of our little warm spell, is like what we call it, because you know you get full spring every now and then, because then it'll go back to quote unquote winter, in the sense that, you know, we got blackberry winter, we've got redbud winter, we've got dogwood winter, we've got, you know, everything pretty much. But I think we're just entering into a cooler spring spell. Thankfully, it's not like cold. So we're going to be getting some like mild 60-degree rainy weather. So I think people are enjoying the weather today, especially since is today. What is today? Even I don't even remember. It's a Friday. Okay. Wow. Yeah. My days are all mixed up. But yeah, just kept the dining room very simple. I really did like the colors. I was really kind of struggling, like going back and forth with this wallpaper here, and I could not make my mind up at all because it's just, I kept going back to it. And I started laying out the living room as well, because it's good to go, you know, kind of do layouts as you go so that you don't get too far into like, you know, furnishing one room and then the next room you go to and you're like, oh, this isn't big enough, I need to fix this, and then you have to go back and fix that other room that you just renovated or just furnished. And yeah, there's just it's a lot of, you know, back and forth and just trying to kind of finesse and finagle with stuff. But I think in the end it does look pretty nice. I kept these very traditional looking, you know, tables and chairs here. I think I swapped it to this one here. Yeah, I went with this one just because I thought this one looked a little bit more old and a little less grand looking, and I kind of liked it. It fits the vibe a little bit better. And I just want to say this. Can we please get swatch updates for more curtains in the base game? I just need that so much. I just want some simple white curtains from the other curtains as well. I want there to be basic swatches of all the curtains. I don't care if it's just a couple. I would love it to be every color possible. That would be so great, because these big floofy curtains that I was trying to use with the like banister, the banister I wish was a different wood tone, because this swatch here would have been perfect, but the banister part, or just like the wood trim bit there, is just like the color. Yeah, just it was bugging behind me because I like my wood tones to kind of go together at least. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's build though. I do work on the living room, but I don't really spend much time in there because it's a pretty simple room. But if you all would like to download this home, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery under my username Luca Owens. It is LuccaOwens, as well as the hashtag Luca. That is LUCCA. And yeah, it's a very nice home. It's a base game only, no DLC. It's perfect for up to 3 Sims. You could possibly throw in a 4th if you could, you know, finagle it a little bit more. And do let me know in the comments down below what you want me to build next. And if you did get to this part of the video, why don't you comment apple? Yeah. Comment apple, because apples are red, just like this house. And yeah, I just thought that was silly. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Do let me know in the comments down below. And that is everything. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I will speak to you all in the next video. Goodbye, witches.
Gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead. Nobody is losing. Faces merge and change, but your face remains the same. The swallows will be here by dawn, and when we're finally sober, they'll be gone. The trees will bloom and ice will melt. We'll always remember how it felt. Significant life, just what it was needed. Clean in the blackest night, cloistered in injustice.